Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to do a comparison of the HBX Devastator and the Basher Rocksta. I'm going to go a little in depth on this, so it may be a little lengthy. I apologize in advance. If you're interested in getting one of these and not sure which one to buy, hopefully this will clear some things up for you. So let's start with the remotes. This is the Basher remote. It feels a little more premium than the Devastator, but there's really not that much difference. You got all your different functions here to switch between the four-wheel steering modes, the different modes. You just tap this button here. It's basically very similar to the Devastator. Again, this is the Devastator remote. This is the Basher remote. One thing I will say is the lights on this thing, when it's turned on, are blinding. When you look down at this to see what mode you're in, and then look back up to drive, it's like staring at the sun. This one's not so bad. I don't know why they made these so bright. Okay, so as you can see, top view, we got the Basher Rocksta, HBX Devastator. The wheelbase is, basically the same. The HBX might be a millimeter or two longer, but not enough to make a difference really. So, width-wise, the Roxtor, or Rocksta, is about 5 inches wide, from outer tire edges, and the same goes for the Devastator. So one thing that's very different between the two is the Rocksta has the motors on the axles. So basically there's a motor built into each axle. I guess the reason for that is to keep the weight down low, which it does make a difference. Whereas the Devastator, one motor gearbox that turns two drive shafts. So another thing to note is the battery is built into the Devastator, so you can't take it out. It's got a 6.4 volt 500 milliamp battery in there with about a half-hour runtime. The runtime on this, depending on what size battery you're having here, because this has a removable battery, which you just pop these clips out and you can fit a 300 to 350 milliamp 7.4 volt 2S battery in here. The runtime, I have a 300 milliamp in there. I would say it's definitely longer than the Devastator by 15 minutes or so, but it all depends on how you drive it. So another thing to point out is the body is not intended to come off on the Rocksta. You can access your power button right here. You get your battery right here. So there's no need to undo any pins to start riding. This also has metal gears. which I don't think the Devastator does. I haven't taken it apart to actually look at it, but I haven't seen anything that stated it did. So the Devastator has metal links. The Rocksta got some plastic links. Doesn't really make much of a difference. I mean, it's a small scale. It's durable. The frame on the Devastator is all metal. I'll take the body off here in a second and show you guys. But this cage is all plastic. It's got metal panels on it. So I'm going to pause the video, pull the body off, and we'll be back. Alright, so body's off. Just a regular Lexan body. It's got these little foam pads to, I guess, keep the body from moving around too much. Now, it appears that the servos are pretty close to the same size. This comes with a 9-gram servo, 5-wire. It's got servo on each side because it's dual steering. Same with this. This is I'm gonna say it's close to 9 grams. It may not be exact, but this is a 3-wire, both sides 3-wire. Plastic servo horns on both of them. So another thing to note is the tires on the Devastator are slightly bigger, but what's weird is, considering how similar these are, the Rocksta actually has slightly higher ground clearance. Now, the Rockstar also has much softer tires. The Devastator is pretty stiff. Neither set of these tires are really all that great for rock crawling. You could definitely improve upon these with swapping out the tires. So the Devastator has beadlock wheels. Whereas the Rocksta just has regular rims with glued on tires. So the Rocksta is also waterproof. I don't know if the Devastator is. I looked it up. Didn't see anything that stated it was. I'm assuming it's probably not. I probably wouldn't take either of these in the water anyways, just to be on the safe side. As far as the motors go, like I said earlier, these have a motor on each axle. I don't know what size those are. I haven't taken it apart and looked at it. This Devastator has one motor. I think it's a 50 RPM motor. Lost the pad there. Alright, so let's talk about the pros on the Basher. So, the Basher, it has a lower center of gravity. It has higher ground clearance. Not drastically higher, but enough to make a difference. The motor on the axles kind of put weight on the front and rear down low, which really helps with the center of gravity. I think this is really well designed. It's also waterproof. You can take the battery out. The tires are softer, although smaller by a couple millimeters. This one has metal gears. I guess when they first started making these, they came with plastic gears, and the gears stripped out really easily, and a lot of people didn't really like the Basher Rocksta because of the gear problem, so they started offering it with the metal gears. It used to be just an upgrade option, so this came with the metal gears, and I haven't seen any problem with it, although the metal gears are really loud. Now, the pros of the Devastator. It's got slightly bigger tires. It's got the metal links. It's got one motor that could be good or bad, and one centrally located motor that's down pretty low. It's got some nice beadlock rims. This is also a lot faster. Now, the cons. So, the cons of this is it is super slow. It's unbelievable how slow this is. That was the biggest thing that I disliked about it when I first got it. So, if you're trying to go from point A to point B on some flat ground, if you're moving more than 2 or 3 feet, just pick it up and walk it over, because it's a lot quicker. It'll take you forever to drive over there. Whereas, like I said, the Devastator's quick. So other than being really slow and the loud gears, it's really the only negative thing I have to say about it. As far as the Devastator goes, it's got higher ground clearance. I mean, it's got lower ground clearance, but a higher center of gravity. And it's just really tippy. It's top heavy. It looks like a monster truck. That's what it's supposed to look like, a monster truck. There's nothing to scale about it. There's really nothing to scale with the Rocksta either. The battery that's built in, I think, was a poor choice. It'd be nice if that battery could be removed. And as far as these both go, a con that they both share is their tires aren't neither that great. They could definitely benefit from some better tires. So I plan on swapping those out at some point, and I'll do a video of how those run. So before we finish up here, I want to just gonna throw these on a scale so you can see the difference in weight between the two of them, because they are very similar. So, got my daughter's Duplo blocks. I use those as a base on the scale. Tear that out and check the weight. So, 11.33 ounces for the Rocksta. And now the Devastator, 10.81 ounces. So the Devastator's about a half ounce lighter. But again, I like the crawlability of this one a little bit better, just because of the ground clearance is a little bit higher, the center of gravity is lower. But I also like the quality of this. This is just really good quality. It's well built, it's quick, it's easy to drive. if we could merge the two of them, we'd have the perfect crawler. So I'm gonna give you one more shot of what this looks like head on, just so you can see the difference in ground clearance. I don't know if you'll see it on camera because it's not that drastic, but I will do a test later on. I'll come up with something that lets you see the difference in ground clearance, but hold on one second. I'm gonna bring the camera over. All right, we're back. It's not the easiest to see on camera, but you can see the pumpkin to the right on the Devastator is just hangs down a little bit lower. And you can see the difference in tire size. The Devastator's tires are a couple millimeters higher. Overall, though, you can't go wrong with either one of these. These are both fun. They serve their own purpose, even though they are similar. Price-wise, they're both the same. The Devastator is sold, you can get that almost anywhere. It's sold under many different brands, but it's basically it's the same box, same crawler, same everything. The Rocksta is exclusive to Hobby King. You can buy it on Amazon, but it's a little bit more money. Anyways, I hope that that helped. Sorry if it sounded like I was all over the place, but there's a lot to talk about. So I hope you like the video and subscribe. I'm gonna do a test here shortly. I'll post that up just to show the difference in ground clearance. Something that is a little bit better demonstration than a head-on shot. Alright, until next time.